Hi, welcome back to the ABC workshop for another review video. I'm Sophia Jacob, an artist and an art productivity coach, and I help artists like yourself create art more consistently and to find ways to monetize your creativity. In today's video, I would be reviewing a product that I'm certain many of you have heard about and probably own it. This is the HIMI Jelly Gouache colors. Now, while many of you had asked me to review this product, I've had so many different opinions about this that I was hesitant to go ahead. But finally, curiosity got better of me and I went ahead and picked up one of these boxes to test them out. The HIMI Jelly Gouache boxes comes in different options. You have 18, 24, 36, 48, 56 and 112 shades. There are also two cup sizes, 12 ml and 30 ml. And then there are variations in the box colors themselves. Purple like this one, ice blue, mint green, pink, beige, grey, transparent, and even a limited edition wooden box. Each color represents a specific edition catering to different requirements, and I'll come to that a little later. Some boxes also include a palette and brushes, and now there is even a glow-in-the-dark paint variation available. So as you can see, there is an enormous range and something for everyone. Coming back to this box, this set contains 36 colors in 12 ml cups. It's a purple box, which means it's their basic edition or starter set. It contains a good balance of warm and cool hues in smaller cups and is ideal for artists who want to test out the HIMI colors or are new to gouache. The ice blue box is also called the twin cup edition and is a larger box with 56 or 112 shades and is offered as a premium aesthetic version. The mint green box usually comes with 30 ml cups and is designed for artists who use gouache more often. The pink box, known as the pastel edition, contains softer tones. The beige box is made for outdoor sketching. It's lighter, more portable, and has a detachable palette and brush slots. The grey box is the designer edition with more professional tones for designers and illustrators. The transparent or the frosted case is a new release that lets you see the jelly paints through the lid. And then there is the limited edition wooden box, a rare collector's version with refillable cup for professional users. This purple box that I have is quite heavy at around 800 grams and it's not something I would want to carry around while traveling. So keep that in mind if you're considering this edition. The design and color of the box are really attractive and I like this diagonal paper band they have added. It gives a nice modern twist to the packaging. On the box there is a playful phrase that says, "Hi, it's gouache." It's a marketing tagline they use to make the product feel more friendly and approachable. They use similar phrases across other product lines like "Hi, it's watercolor" or "Hi, it's acrylic," and it's part of their overall design language, which keeps the branding consistent and instantly recognizable. The word gouache is also placed inside a diagonal white frame that mimics the paper band, probably to draw attention to the medium inside the box. When you turn the box over, you'll see a shade palette printed on the paper band. There are some icons that indicate that the box is fragile, should be kept away from moisture, and must be disposed of responsibly. Other symbols show that the product meets European safety standard, that the company supports recycling systems, and it is not suitable for children under 3 years old. The AP-approved seal also confirms that the paint are non-toxic and safe to use. It mentions here that the shelf life of the product is 3 years. The only issue is that no manufacturing date is mentioned on the box, so I have no idea when this 3-year countdown begins. Maybe the date is printed on the jelly cups inside. We'll check that out when we open the box. Before we move on, I just want to show you the care and maintenance FAQ sheet that came along with the box. One of the biggest complaints I've heard about HIMI set is that the paints can catch mold. When I first heard this, I was a little surprised because in my experience with gouache, which has mostly been with traditional sets, these just dry and can easily be reactivated with water. So my main concern was usually about gouache drying and cracking, not molding. But this set is slightly different. These paints come in jelly cups and have a pudding-like consistency, which means they're ready to use straight from the cup and you don't need much water. The downside to this, however, is that they have shorter shelf life and are more prone to mold. The FAQ sheet gives a few tips on how to prevent that. They recommend using distilled water when needed, and if you don't plan to use the paints for a while, you can use Gouache antifungal spray. They also suggest using clean brushes, keeping the lid tightly closed when not in use, and storing the box in a cool, dry place. The box has a locking system on all four sides and lifts off completely once you unlatch them. Inside, you'll find a shade card with the names and numbers of the colors. On the back, there are a few more tips on how to preserve the paint, along with an email ID where you can write in case you have any questions and concerns. Honestly, I feel this company really values customer experience and has tried to address the common issues that users often face. I chose a box that came with a palette, and this is what I received. It's a basic plastic palette. It's functional, but not really spacious enough to use all the 36 shades comfortably. I'll definitely need a larger palette to make full use of this set. There's enough space for brushes if you want to keep just a few in this box. There was also an option to get a box that included brushes, but I didn't choose that one. And now let's get to the actual paints. This is what the twin cups look like. They're sealed with a white foil that runs across both the cups, so you can't just open one while keeping the other sealed. The name and number of each color are printed on the foil, and once you remove it, you'll need to refer back to the shade card to know which color you're using. The expiry date of each twin cup is also printed on it. For example, this one expires on 21st February 2028. Interestingly, each unit has a slightly different expiry date ranging from February 2028 to March 2028. I've heard that removing these foils can be a bit tricky, so let's see how bad it really is. The foil is a little tricky to remove and needs a bit of muscle strength. It also helps if you have some nail to peel it back more easily. Keep a small bin nearby to drop the removed foil and have a few wet wipes handy to clean your fingers. This prevents color contamination while working. One simple tip, take out the cups in the entire row together because pulling each one individually can be much harder. Now that the beautiful bright shades of the HIMI gouache paints are revealed, my excitement to test them out has doubled. Let's jump straight into the swatch test. For the swatches, I'm using 300 GSM cold press watercolor paper by Zen Sangam. I've sketched out 36 boxes in 6 rows and 6 columns and drawn thick black lines across each box to check how opaque the paints are. Since the paint in the box are arranged in 3 rows and 12 columns, I'll need to keep referring back to the shade card so that I don't mix them up. To make it simpler, I've written the shade names besides each box. Trust me, this saves a lot of time and confusion later. My first impression about these paints is really positive. The consistency is just right, easy to pick up with the brush and apply directly onto the paper. The texture feels rich, creamy and smooth. The color range looks amazing and the shade appears bright and vibrant. There is a good balance between warm and cool hues, which I think will excite most gouache artists. While some paints are completely opaque, several are semi-opaque, which actually helps to create lovely layered effects. The beautiful range of green in this box is already inspiring me to do a nature-themed painting, so let's move on to do a quick demo. For the demo, I'm again using 300 GSM cold press paper. The paints blend easily on paper, creating smooth transitions and interesting new hues. You can use them to make rough textured patches or soft even gradients depending on your style. I'm genuinely impressed by how easily they handle. I couldn't resist trying out as many shades as possible, and layering them was simple too as long as I let the base layer dry first. The shades of green were especially fun to experiment with, and I found myself reaching out for them again and again. The palette that came with the box turned out to be quite practical, and I didn't really need a bigger one since in a real painting we rarely use all 36 shades at once. And if you get into the habit of allocating specific mixing spots for certain hues, the palette space can be reused efficiently. Overall, the HIMI gouache colors have been a delight to use. The 36 shade set offers a generous mix of warm and cool tones across the spectrum, making it suitable for a wide range of subjects. The 30 ml cups hold enough paint for plenty of experimentation, and the wide mouth makes it easy to dip even larger brushes directly onto the paint. The consistency is perfect to use straight from the cup without adding extra water, which makes it ideal for beginners. The paints don't lift easily once dry, allowing you to add multiple layers. On the downside, however, the wide mouth might cause the paint to dry faster if it's left open too long, and since the cup sits very close to each other, there is always a chance of accidental mixing. Another point to note is that the light fastness information isn't provided, so I won't recommend these for professional archival work. Also, while the texture and consistency of a new box are wonderful, I'd suggest investing in an antifungal gouache spray recommended by the brand if you want to extend the paint's shelf life. It's a small extra cost but totally worth it for long-term use. That being said, the HIMI gouache color makes a great option for beginners as well as hobby artists. It also works really well with sketchbook artists who are looking for daily practice and quick sketches. It might, however, not work very well for professional artists since there are no light fastness details mentioned on the box, but it might work for illustrators who are looking to digitize their work, and for them light fastness probably isn't a big concern. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And before you move on to the next review video on the ABC workshop, do check the description below for a link to a free e-guide that I created that would help you make the right choices while buying art supplies. If you enjoyed this video, do click the like button and do subscribe to my channel to watch an art supply review every Wednesday.